Hi guys, just here with another quick sales update. Just going to catch you up on the week's sales quickly. Not so much a gaming centered one, but there is a lot of Commodore stuff here because of the stuff we've been picking up recently. I have got a few other bits and bobs in here to show you, so we will get to those as we go. But we're just going to kick off today with this Commodore 64 quick data drive. This is for a Commodore 64, so it can read floppy disks basically, and it is the big old floppy disks as well, which is nice to see. This was boxed, and the box was in fairly good condition for its age, and the disk drive worked, and it was a nice little thing to sort of see. All the bits were there, the manuals, the wires, and the disk drive itself, and it still had the polyfill inserts and everything, which shocked me to hell and back. We stuck it up for $14.99 and it went within a day and a half. I think it owed us probably about £1 at the most. So really happy with that. Nice, quick, easy sale. Mario Kart DS Electrics. Basically, this was at a car boot sale for about, I think I bought it for £8. I would never buy one again just because I had to put the bloody thing together and it was a pain in the ass. I forgot how bad these are to put together. It was pretty much there was some bits that were a bit damaged and what have you, and it was up for around about a month and a bit. Eventually sold for $22.99. Happy with the sale, I suppose. I just really could have done without the having to put it together bit, which I didn't think about when I bought it, but that's my mistake. And in the future, unless they are ridiculously cheap, I really wouldn't bother picking up again. Buffy the Vampire Slayer wine glass from 1999. We picked this up at a charity shop for 50p or £1.50, I think it was. And we listed it, and within about an hour of it being listed, we had like 20 watches. It was ridiculous, and we had it originally listed at $29.99. It didn't sell, and then when we relisted it, the watches weren't as high, so I dropped the price to $19.90. I don't know why, but it sold then eventually, and it's gone. So happy, easy sale, I suppose, off £1.50. Just took a little bit longer because I think we priced it a bit too high at first. Cobra for the Atari ST. Again, part of all the stuff we've been picking up off this one person. The Atari ST is another console that they had games for, and when I tried looking at this one, it was kind of a hard one because it's called Cobra 2, but for some reason this was the box art and this was how it looked, and it took me a while to pinpoint it exactly. I also didn't like the fact that the floppy disk that it came on had it handwritten on the label, and it made me a bit wary at first whether it was correct or not. But the thing you gotta remember with these old games is this is how they were produced. The only thing that made me confident was that when you checked out the label on the floppy disk and the label on the box, it did match up with the same company, and it was all kosher. So once it was checked and what have you, it was fine, and I was happy with it, and that sold for $24.99. Again, owed me about £1, so really happy with that. It was only about a day or two. Mega Bloks World of Warcraft Cindergrocer and Lich King set. This was found in a charity shop for about £2, and it was sealed, but my concern was that someone had put glue on the taper. So I decided to open it and check it, and when I opened it, to my absolute shock, it was brand new. That was all bagged, it was all originally still there, nothing had been opened, and it was all present, including the 10 days worth of WoW time that they give you for free with these things. It stunned me, it really did, because it was only £2, like I say. So listed it as new but opened, and it went for $17.99 within about 2-3 weeks. So nice and happy with that, and I was also kind of glad to see it. I was a bit sad that it wasn't loose because I wanted to put it together myself, but there we go. Happy with it, very easy. Walker for the Commodore Amiga by Psychonagus Games. This is one of those games companies that I've just been aware of since I was a kid. They made one of my favourite all-time games, which was Discworld 2. And when I saw the logo, it sort of twigged in my brain that they're a very well-loved company and their games are still worth quite a bit. This is boxed, and the box was in really nice condition, and it was all present and working. And again, it owed us about £1, and it went up for $24.99. I think it sold within about 6 hours. Really happy with it, nice and easy, and just nice to see that sort of old brand of games still about, because they were fun games, and they did make some really great games. VTech Master Video Painter. This was a video painter from the 90s, and I found it in a car boot sale, still boxed and what have you, and the guy wanted £5 for it. So I picked it up, not really knowing what to expect, and when I got home, I could only find one other listed, and it was listed for about $49.99. The box was in a little bit of condition than the one I had, so I thought, okay, let's list it for $39.99, and it hung about for a month. I dropped it down to $34.99, and eventually sold a couple of days ago, and it's gone to a new home now. It was really nice to see that sort of vintage look, and the box just has this beautiful cheesy 90s artwork that I just love. So it was great to see in a really nice sale anyway. Robocop 2 for the Commodore 64. The Commodore 64, as well as taking tapes and discs and everything else, took these cartridges on the back of it. And basically this was inside another game, so it was a bonus because I wasn't expecting it. We had, I think, 2 or 3 cartridges around. And this one came inside another box, so when I opened it in the store, I was like, oh, bonus, cool. I listed it for $9.99 because box ones are up for $15.99, and this sold within about 4 or 5 minutes. I'm convinced I didn't underprice it, but as a bonus, this is great. This cost us nothing technically because I didn't even take it into consideration. So happy £10, and it's gone to a new home, and I'm sure someone's going to enjoy it, so great. Commodore Music Maker for the Commodore 64. So this was an era basically when you didn't really have external peripherals for everything. So nowadays we have like a Guitar Hero, so we've got guitars, and we have other things that sort of connect onto the thing to make it another thing. Back in the day, they just used to use these things called overlays, which is what this is. This is a chunk of plastic shaped like a keyboard that fits over the console. So it would turn it essentially into a working keyboard or organ, whatever you want to call it. It was boxed, it was in lovely condition, and it was a sort of surprise to see it this good a condition. This guy had really kept things lovely over the time, so I was happy with that. Put this up for $19.99, and it went GSP about 4 days after being listed, so nice and easy. Again, owed us £1, so very happy with that. Littlest Pet Shop Treehouse with 5 pets. We picked up a load of this about 2-3 weeks ago now for £25, and this is just one of those sets from that bundle. This went for $19.99, and I think it owed us maybe £2. It wasn't quite complete. These sets tend to always miss the middle swing, and it's a nightmare, but there you go. Still went for $19.99, and it was listed for about 2.5 weeks, so not too bad at all. And we're definitely in profit in that pickup now, by a long shot, so happy with that, nice and easy. A Commodore 64, but this is the Australian version. So basically these were manufactured all around the world. And we've got ones from London, China, and this one came from Australia. When we checked them out, there wasn't really many listed. And the ones that were listed were obviously working and in great condition. We didn't have a power supply to really check this one. So we listed it for $74.99 as spares and repairs because we weren't sure if it worked or not. We couldn't get a read out of it because we didn't have a power supply for it, so we had to sort of go, okay, we can't sell it as working. This went within 6 hours, so I mean, I'm not arguing. The guy that bought it, he runs a shop that repairs these things, so obviously he's going to probably sell us back on again, and then hopefully it'll find a new home that will love it and look after it. So I'm glad it's going somewhere that someone can test it and work on it. That's the main thing to me, at least it's going somewhere good. It again owed us about £1, so very, very happy with this sale. And very happy overall. I mean, we've done so well off this old vintage stuff, and it's just been great. It's been fun to see it. I'd never got a chance as a kid to really see it. It was just before my era of growing up, so it was nice to sort of have my hands on and see it all. And that brings us to a close for this week. We're not doing car boot sales again this weekend because we've still got more stuff of the vintage stuff to list. We've got board games to go through. We just need to sort of get a grip on the back room because it is just sort of getting a little bit like, oh, we've got piles mounting up that we need to sort. So probably won't give you guys much of a video on Sunday this week, but I will definitely be back with you next week for another sales update. And I will catch you guys soon. Have a great weekend.